Diversity broke the internet there for a couple of hours. Oh, and yeah, Brad Pitt is on the episode, ladies and gentlemen.
The Brad.
There are nights you know you'll remember for the rest of your life. And then there are the nights that become legend for everyone lucky enough to witness them. What happened at Tight End University, TU, this year is one of those stories. A moment so unexpected, so electric, that even the biggest names in football found themselves starstruck, swept up in the kind of magic you only see in movies. It started like any other night at TU, the annual event in Nashville dreamed up by NFL stars Travis Kelce, George Kittle, and Greg Olsen. For the uninitiated, TU is football summer camp for tight ends, part masterclass, part brotherhood, part party. Drills by day, stories and camaraderie by night. But nothing in the playbook could have prepared them for what would unfold after the sun went down on a humid Tennessee evening. Word spread first in whispers, then in shouts. There was a special guest coming. Not just any guest. Taylor Swift. Yes, that Taylor Swift. And if you think you know what happened next, think again. Behind closed doors, Travis Kelce shared how it all came together. It wasn't some carefully orchestrated publicity stunt. No managers, no PR teams. Just a casual conversation between friends. A passing mention over dinner. Nashville is Taylor's old stomping ground, after all. She'd moved there as a teenager chasing her country music dreams, and the city still feels like home. So when Travis floated the idea, would she want to drop by TU? He didn't expect much. Maybe a quick hello, a handshake, a wave to the crowd. But Taylor doesn't do just enough. She does everything with heart. She texted back, "I'd love to come. Let's make it a night to remember." And with that, the wheels were set in motion for one of the most talked about nights in NFL off-season history. Picture it, a room packed with some of the world's most elite athletes. Guys who stand 6'6", 250 pounds, used to being the biggest names in any room. And then, suddenly, there she is. Taylor Swift, hair pulled back, jeans and boots. Guitar slung over her shoulder, smiling like she's just another guest at the barbecue. The energy in the air shifted instantly. Grown men nudged each other, wide-eyed, as if they'd seen a unicorn. "Is that really Taylor Swift?" someone whispered, and suddenly the room buzzed with disbelief and excitement. She didn't ask for a sound check, didn't run through a rehearsal. She just stepped up to the mic, nodded at the crowd, and strummed the opening chords of Love Story. Her voice cut through the chatter, clear and commanding, and every single head in the room turned to watch. Travis Kelce remembers that moment better than any touchdown he's ever scored. "You could feel the excitement," he said later. Like the air itself was sparkling. What happened next is the stuff of sports legend. Taylor didn't just perform, she connected. She cracked jokes about never having played to so many football players at once. She wove stories between songs, asking questions about the game, trading tour stories for gridiron tales. And she didn't just disappear backstage when her set was over. Instead, she stayed, laughing with rookies, posing for photos, signing autographs on footballs, jerseys, and even the odd napkin thrust at her by starstruck coaches. Veteran players introduced their families. Rookies lined up just to say thank you. And the biggest, toughest tight ends in the league turned into fans, grinning for selfies and telling her how her music had soundtracked their own highs and lows. Travis Kelce watched it all unfold, a little in awe. "She just made everyone feel like they belonged," he said. "She never made it about herself. She was just one of a team." The performance itself was pure magic. Taylor played a mix of her biggest hits and a couple of deep cuts, just for the diehards in the crowd. After Shake It Off, the whole room was on their feet, clapping, singing, dancing like nobody was watching. When she finished, the cheers were deafening. Not the polite applause of a black tie audience, but the rowdy, exuberant roar of a room full of athletes who just witnessed something unforgettable. Taylor just laughed, gave a little wave, and grinned. "I've never had this many linebackers in the crowd before," she joked. The room exploded again. Nobody wanted the night to end. Instead of heading out, Taylor stuck around. She listened to stories, asked questions about training routines, and even tried to wrap her head around some of the more confusing football terminology. The players tried, and mostly failed, to explain the finer points of zone coverage and run-pass options. It was real, unscripted, and surprisingly intimate. The kind of moment that reminds you that even the biggest stars are just people, too. Of course, nobody could ignore the elephant in the room: Travis and Taylor's relationship. It's the kind of pairing that seems almost too good to be true. A pop superstar and an NFL legend, each at the top of their game. Travis opened up about how they make it work, despite their crazy schedules and the constant glare of the spotlight. Late-night phone calls after games, texts before practice, surprise playlists to get him hyped on game day. They're each other's biggest fans, but more importantly, they're each other's safe place. He remembers slipping away from the crowd that night, just the two of them, laughing about how wild it all was. Taylor told him she was proud. That what she loved most was seeing the brotherhood, the passion, the way football brought people together. She felt honored to be a part of it, even for just one night. Travis says it's those little moments, away from the cameras, that mean the most. The late-night meals after TU, just talking about what went right and what could be better next time. The way she always reminds him to stay true to himself, no matter how bright the spotlight gets. The next morning, the buzz still hadn't worn off. Players replayed videos, shared photos, and started planning for next year. TU organizers were flooded with messages from guys who'd never been before, all asking the same question: will Taylor be there again? But what stuck with Travis wasn't the fame, or the attention, or even the music. It was the way everyone, coaches, veterans, rookies, even the staff, felt like part of something bigger than themselves. The laughter, the stories, the sense of community that football at its best always creates. And Taylor fit right in. Not as a celebrity guest, but as a teammate. Someone who lifts up the people around her, who makes every room a little warmer just by being there. What does it all mean? For Travis, it's about more than just football, or fame, or even love. It's about showing up for each other, about being willing to mix worlds, to invite new people in, to create memories that last a lifetime. He tells everyone the same thing: don't be afraid to chase your dreams, to bring different worlds together, to celebrate the people who lift you up. The best moments, the ones that turn into legends, are the ones you never see coming. And with Taylor Swift by his side, Travis Kelce plans to keep making those memories, both on and off the field. As TU wrapped up, Travis took a moment to thank everyone who made it possible, from the players and coaches to the surprise guests who turned a football camp into a night nobody would ever forget. He promised to keep raising the bar, to keep building a community where everyone feels like they belong, to keep making room for moments of magic, whether it's on the field, backstage, or anywhere else life might take them. The story of Taylor Swift at TU isn't just about a superstar crashing a party. It's a reminder that the best nights, the ones that become legend, are the ones you could never script ahead of time. They happen when worlds collide, when people show up for each other, and when everyone gets a little bit braver about mixing the music and memories of their own lives. So, what's next for Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, and Tight End University? If this year taught us anything, it's to expect the unexpected. The next chapter is still unwritten, but one thing's for sure, we'll all be waiting to see what happens next. And maybe, just maybe, hoping for another night where music, football, and magic come together in perfect harmony.